Hello, hello, and welcome to our new Eid al-Fitr episode where we discuss the Caribbean, Turkey, and Israel. We are so honored to have with us today our very special guest, Muhammed Cetinkaya. Mohammed holds a bachelor's degree in international relations from Koç University in Turkey, where he also pursued a minor in history and track programs in diplomacy and international political economy. Currently, Mohammed is pursuing a master's degree at Boston University's Pardee School, specializing in diplomacy. His research fields encompass a wide range of topics, including Israeli and Turkish foreign policy, modern history of the Middle East, public and digital diplomacy, and Caribbean Israel relations. Mohammed can speak Turkish, English, and Spanish, and he can read Hebrew and Arabic. Mohammed, welcome and thank you for being here with us today.
Thank you very much for the invitation. It is my great pleasure to be here.
I appreciate it. Yeah, Mohammed. Before we even begin and get into everything, I'm fascinated by your journey and what is it that got you into this field of diplomacy? What piqued your interest?
Yeah, so I entered college in 2017. It's 7 years now. I feel old. Um, I took some classes on diplomacy in 2018, and I learned Machiavelli and Cardinal Richelieu, and I got influenced by those thinkers, especially from Cardinal Richelieu, because um, he was a Protestant, but before being a Protestant, he was a French statesman, and he was aware of that. And during the 30 in Europe, um, he fought with the Holy Roman Empire, which was also Protestant. So it shows us that the main thing in diplomacy is not your religion, your emotions, but your national interests. So it's it was a great example from Cardinal Richelieu. So these people influenced my interest towards diplomacy.
Mohammed, your thesis for your master's is one which is very unique. It's almost not even unique, it's brand new because it doesn't have any literature, as far as I can tell, or research behind it currently. Yours is the first. So before we even talk about that, please introduce us to your thesis and tell us what prompted you to write on this very unresearched area.
Oh yeah. One morning I woke up and said I'm gonna write about Caribbean Israel. No, I'm joking. That didn't happen. But so I have been interested in Israel since 2018, and when I was studying Israel, I came across this fact that the Israeli studies are too confined with regions such as Europe, obviously Middle East, Africa, little bit Asia, and also US. And I wanted to open up a new debate in Israel studies, but also in international relations, because Israel's foreign policy is not confined with those regions. It's it's a more more like further reaching foreign policy. So I just want to open up a new debate, and I'm quite happy that it turned out to be a unique contribution to the literature. Yeah.
I'd say more than it's a unique contribution, I'll say it's the foundational contribution to this field. And I'm very, very proud and honored to know you because your paper is very relevant to understanding Israel Foundation. And Mohammed, you speak about Cardinal Richelieu and you speak about the importance of the interplay between states, and you chose to focus in on the Caribbean, specifically Trinidad and Tobago, Barbados, and Guyana, in your thesis, from which the name of is From Pixels to Policy: Israel's Public Diplomacy in Trinidad and Tobago, Barbados, and Guyana in the Age of Social Media. And it wasn't just a paper compiling information. You also came up with a concept which I find very, very interesting. It's called the power multiplier. Could you tell us a bit about this idea?
Yes. The power multiplier concept was a concept that I developed for this paper. So it basically suggests that when government entities and diplomatic entities they don't have enough resources or human power, they collaborate with non-governmental organizations, public personas, and different entities. And in the digital age, we see that these public personas are influencers, and they are very important in social media world, because thousands or millions of people follow these this social media figures, let's say. And it was very applicable to Israel's situation in the region, because the Israeli embassy in Panama, they do not have enough resources to reach to Panama, sorry, to Guyana, Barbados, and Trinidad and Tobago. So they are using some non-governmental organizations such as your organization to promote Israeli interests in the region. So it was a quite interesting concept, and I hope like other people will use that in the future too.
Yeah, it really shows, it leverages how you, it shows you how you need to leverage, sorry, your partners. Sometimes you're unaware of who your partners are, and that leaves you at a discrepancy and a disadvantage. But when you find your partners and you align with them, you can create something magical and wonderful. And I think that's really what got me from the power multiplier. Now, Mohammed, you are Turkish, you're from Turkey, and I want to, let's leave your thesis aside for now. Let's talk a little bit about Turkey. Let's talk about how did modern secular Turkey begin, mostly because I think in the Caribbean, at least from my perspective, I have a great respect for what Turkey is and how Turkey has built itself into this modern secular republic.
Yeah, sure. So the modern Turkish Republic was born in October 1923, founded by Atatürk. He's our legendary founding father. And our republic was born after our, like, obviously World War I, and then the Independence War that we had that we fought against the foreign powers. And Atatürk and his counterparts, they saw that the Ottoman state structure was basically rotten, and some public figures were using, like, also the Ottoman government itself was using religion as a tool, and that's why he brought this secular idea to the new modern Turkish Republic. And with that, the Darwish lodges and zawiyas were shut down, and religion was separated from the state, and it continued like it's been like that since 1923, even though there are some fluctuations from government to government.
I I think about modern Turkey, and of course Ataturk's incredible influence on what it is today. But do you think that Turkey today, 2024, 101 years later, is it still following Ataturk's vision?
Well, it's a good question, because on some issues we may have disappointed him, but you know, um, Turkey is still a secular country, and if a government uh, wouldn't champion the idea of secularism, they cannot get the popular support from the Turkish people, because we value secularism a lot. And in order to win and also retain their power in the government, they have to um, they have to protect and defend the idea of secularism.
Thank you, Mohammed, for explaining that for us. And let's expand a bit from Turkey itself and look at Turkey and the region, specifically Israel. And Turkey, a Muslim majority country, and Israel, a Jewish majority country, have had excellent relations for most of Israel's life. So, do you mind delving a bit into the history and telling us also the role that Turkey played in Israel's independence? I don't think many Trinidadians know about this.
Yes. We established our relations with Israel a couple of months after of the establishment of Israel in 1948, and we are the first Muslim majority country to recognize Israel, and it continued like that up until 1970s. And an interesting fact: some of important Israeli politicians, they fought in in the Ottoman army in World War I, and one of them is Moshe Sharet, who was the prime minister of Israel. So our relations are like very deep, historical. The Ottoman Empire was sort of protector of the Jews back then. Our relations can be divided to three distinct phases. The first phase is from 1948 to 2002, which is AKP and Erdogan era. And the second phase is again the AKP and Erdogan up until, let's say, Abraham Accords. And the third phase is again AKP and Erdogan after the Abraham Accords. So up until the second phase, the relations were completely positive. Israel helped a lot in our fight with terrorism in the region. And the early years of AKP and Erdogan were also like quite positive in terms of relationship. But then Erdogan started to take more revisionist foreign policy. They started to support the Muslim groups in the region, like extremist groups, let's say, such as Muslim Brotherhood and Hamas, and it severed the good relationship between Turkey and Israel. And Turkey was very important for Israel from the beginning because Israel is a small country, surrounded by a lot of Arab neighbors, and Israel was like trying to get as much as support as they can from the world. And in the region, Turkey was the closest ally to Israel, in terms of ideology. But in the second phase, the relations got severed, and in 2010, with the Mavi Marmara incident, it completely shut down. The both countries, they pulled their ambassadors, so diplomatic ties were completely gone, and it continued like that for years. But after the Arab Spring, the the Turkish government, they saw their mistake in their approach to Middle East, and they decided to reset their relations with the countries that they had very bad relations during the Arab Spring, such as Israel, Egypt, and Saudi Arabia, and also the Gulf countries. So yeah, and the main picture is like that.
You touch on a really important point there, which is the role that Turkey, well, the Ottoman Turkish Empire played in saving many, many Jews. And the Jewish presence in Turkey has been since before 1492. But, the protection that Turkey gave to Jews, I think that's why Jews, generally speaking, around the world have a very, very favorable image of Turkey. And that's something I just want to throw out that our audience can investigate and read about on their own, because it's a very powerful, powerful story and history. And I think it's really something Turkey deserves to be proud of and to say, this is what we did. Let's keep talking about Erdogan. And I mean, his personality and his statements can be very much against Israel. And I'm guessing that's to bolster domestic support and the elections. But sometimes, the loud mouthing and speechifying, it really doesn't affect the actual relationship between countries. And you could tell me if I'm wrong, but I feel like when it comes to economics and trade, nothing Erdogan has said has managed to really upset the strength of the relationship between Israel and Turkey.
Well, yes, definitely, because economy is the backbone of Turkish and Israeli relations. Um, no matter what happened during Erdogan and AKP era, it didn't quite affect the economic relationship. On the other hand, the economy continued to grow. Um, Even after the famous 1 minute and Mavi Marmara incidents, even though the diplomatic relations were completely shut down, um, the economic relationship were continuing, and we can still see that. And I do not think that no matter what happened, it will affect the economic relationship.
Thank you so much, Mohammed. And you mentioned, to go back to something you mentioned in your three distinct phases, you mentioned the Abraham Accords. And how did the Abraham Accords, how does Turkey and specifically Erdogan view the Abraham Accords? Is it a positive thing? Is it not? Is it something that he sees as a threat to Turkey's special relationship with Israel?
Yes, so it I think the Turkish government see that as a opportunity to reset their diplomatic relations with the countries that they had negative relationship uh, during the Arab Spring, um, because the Abraham Accords was seen as an important tool to uh, like you know um, to make make the relationship like flourish like again, and it actually did. Like I can clearly say that, because after the Abraham Accords, the Turkish government stopped its, like, um, revisionist policies in the Middle East, and it moved on to more cooperation based foreign policy, and we can see that from Turkiye's new relations with Egypt and also with Israel before the October 7 attacks. So it will be quite interesting, like after this point, because I can say that so first of all, Erdogan is a very smart leader, and I see that the West uh, neglects this. He is a very smart leader, and he is very pragmatic, and he uses this anti-Israeli rhetoric in order to gain support from Turkish far right. So if we go back to Mavi Marmara incident, for example, we can see a very interesting coincidence, which is AKP was struggling with the closure trial during the Mavi Marmara thing. But after Mavi Marmara, the AKP won the closure case because it created a rally around the flag effect. So clearly, Erdogan is using this anti-Israeli rhetoric to consolidate support with the far right base.
That leads to really, really a question that I really want to ask is because while Erdogan may be doing this to engender votes and engender support, he is leaving behind actual radicalized hatred towards Israel. And as you said, there will be a period when Erdogan and AKP may no longer be there. No one lasts forever. Would that anti-Israel sentiment remain within the Turkish population, or can the ideals of secularism prevail? And at the same, and another question, which is probably too many questions to throw at you all at once, but can the two harmonize and exist harmoniously with each other? Like religiousness exists with secularism without hating Israel?
Well, I think no matter who comes in Turkish politics, from now on, they have to use a an anti-Israel rhetoric to gain support, because like Turkish people are like usually more pro-Palestinian, and you just cannot deny the public's emotion if you want to be successful in the domestic politics. So I do not expect from future governments to have an amazing relations with Israel, like in terms of rhetoric at least. But it like they can tone down the anti-Israel rhetoric. So that can happen. Yeah.
It's interesting as you say that because my mind is taken to Saudi Arabia and how Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman is dealing with this, and because it's not a democracy, he could assert a certain narrative in Saudi Arabia, which can't happen in Turkey. I mean, it's not going to happen in Israel either, or in Trinidad and Tobago. These are vibrant, democratic, secular countries. Let's switch away a bit now from Turkey and Israel And I want to ask you now, as someone who is positioning yourself as, I mean, unintentionally, as a Caribbean scholar, have you been to the Caribbean yet, Mohammed? And if you have not, why have you not yet been to the Caribbean?
Yeah, I've been to Caribbean. So to conduct my research, my school gave me a grant, and I want to take thanks to the Gilman family for their uh, support. And I went to Barbados this last January. Um, so it was my first time in the English speaking Caribbean. But before that, I went to Puerto Rico a couple of times. Amazing place. I love that place. I can like almost identify myself as like half Puerto Rican. Um, yeah, but Caribbean in general is a very beautiful place with a um, distinct landscape. Yeah.
I mean, as you say, you define yourself as probably half Puerto Rican. Now that you say it, I kind of see Puerto Rican in you now. So we'll have to find a Latino name for you. How
Miguel.
was we'll figure it out, like Rico or something. You know? How was your visit to, because the English speaking Caribbean? How was your visit to Barbados? And what specific things did you enjoy while you were in Barbados?
It was quite interesting. I think it was my 25th country that I've been in US in the world. Sorry, um, and it was quite different from the other countries that I've been because the time was actually so slow. Everything was so slow. The people were like really chill. They do not care about like what's going on in the world, and that's why actually it's perfect place for Israel. Because the Caribbean people don't care about like the conflicts in the world. They just want um, like development and things that will benefit them. And like Israel is giving that to them. So it's an important place for Israel to be and increase its activity in the region.
Yeah, that's a good point, and I think you addressed that in your thesis as well, which I encourage all of our viewers to read at some point in time. Mohammed, in terms of the Caribbean, what are some of the issues you find facing small island states, both domestically and as we struggle to be heard by the wider world?
Yeah. So first of all, like the Caribbean states are small island uh, countries, like apart from Guyana, um, and alone, maybe they cannot be able to make difference in world politics, but when they gather together, as we can see from the Caribbean community, CARICOM, they can actually be very influential and very powerful in international organizations such as UN, because in UN the CARICOM has a voting base of 14 countries. So it's very important for the foreign powers to like gain support of these countries, and we can see that in Israel's aim in the region. That's a a topic, and the other topic is the Caribbean countries have very unique challenges, developmental challenges, such as agriculture, infrastructure, water technology, cybersecurity. And in those issues, Israel provides the best technology to the region. Uh, and so some countries, for example, they give like funds or loans, but Israel gives like specific investments to the region, and one of them is in Guyana, the dairy farm. It's quite a fascinating project to see. So, and apart from developmental challenges, there is this economic diversification problem, because when I went to Barbados, I asked like, what do you export? Sugar. You go to Puerto Rico, you ask the same question and you get the same answer. In Trinidad, you guys have like a lot of oil, so like you somehow diversified your economy, but the whole Caribbean still needs this economic diversification to be more obvious in world politics, because economy is like very important for any country to be successful in the world politics. And also there is a climate change problems, and it's clearly and directly influences these small island countries. Yeah.
You hit the nail on the head there with diversification, because even though Trinidad has oil and gas, if you ask us what do we export, it's only oil and gas. There's nothing else that we export. So we do need to diversify as well. Mohammed, I think this has been a really, really wonderful and insightful conversation, and I will challenge anyone watching this interview to find another interview which talks about Turkey, Israel, and the Caribbean. I don't think any other interview addresses all three. And I have to leave you with one final, very difficult question. Have you visited Trinidad, and have you tried Trinidadian food in Boston?
No, I haven't been to Trinidad yet. But who knows? Maybe in the future. Like, will you host me when I come there?
Definitely, definitely. I mean, I expect Turkish treats because I told you one of my roommates when I lived in Israel was Turkish, and I know about your food, so I'd
Yes.
expect that in return. Yeah.
Yes, we have amazing food. Yeah.
Yes, you do.
But for your second question, no, I haven't tried Caribbean food in Boston yet. But it's probably because I've already tried the best of the best in Barbados. So yeah.
Okay, well, you lay down a challenge. I hope when you come to Trinidad that you find that our food is as good as, if not a little better than Barbados. But I'm very happy to have you on. I'm happy you came on and spoke, especially in this Eid al-Fitr episode, where we're trying to show, very various views of Israel within the Islamic world, which I think many Trinidadians, Muslim and non-Muslim, may be unaware of. And I think for Israel, that relationship with Turkey is one of its proudest relationships, not because Turkey is just a Muslim country, but because it's been so long, and there's such a deep, deep connection between the people of Turkey and the people of Israel that predates even Turkey and Israel as countries. Yeah. So, Mohammed, thank you so much. Thank you for sharing your knowledge, your wealth of knowledge, and I look forward to your growth as an academic and your growth within this sphere of Caribbean-Israel-Turkey relations.
It was great to be here, and I hope my work will contribute to this new field.
Yes, I'm definitely sure it will. Mohammed, Eid Mubarak to you. Eid Mubarak to the Muslim community of Trinidad and Tobago, the Muslim community of Israel, and the Muslim community of Turkey, but also the Muslim community of the world. Thank you so much for being on again.
Of course. Thank you very much.
Okay. Bye-bye.